pretty hot over the weekend. I cracked one in the pool, and I thought, oh, this is beautiful.
That's what it's all about. Soaking it up and enjoying the moment.
I wasn't there with a mate though. I was actually in the pool on my own.
That's all right.
Welcome everyone to another episode of A Beer with a Brewer, and today we're joined by another very special guest, Darcy of Bloody Brilliant Beers. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How are you? I don't know if very special is the right term, but happy to be here. Happy to be back. It's been almost a year exactly, I think, since the first podcast we did. So good to see you've got underwear on today, unlike last time.
Yeah, I am wearing undies. Normally by this time on a Friday I have my undies off, so you're lucky, mate. I've left them on for you.
Yeah, hopefully we get through the podcast with them still on.
Well, by the end of it we might be sitting in our undies.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
So, mate, how you been?
Mate, pretty good. Pretty busy at the moment. Just came off the back of about a 6-day bender with Clutzy.
Yep.
Who I do the podcast with down in Sydney for the ordinary rig competition. So it's been full on, just trying to stay on top of stuff and silly season and all that sort of stuff. So, but been good. It's been good. It's been a pretty big year for us. We're pretty stoked. So, but yeah, very, very good.
So, Clutzy taking out the ordinary rig, I understand, down in Sydney. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about what that is? And
I don't really know where to start, but basically, Budgie Smuggler every year do their take on the Victoria's Secret fashion show, which is Victoria's Secret, the ordinary rig competition. It's broken down into three segments. Obviously, you have to have a pretty ordinary rig to even get a run, but on the day he had to do a catwalk in his wings, a special talent, which for him was interpretive dance to Kylie Minogue. And the third one was a bit of a question and answer. So it was a day on Saturday at the Ivy Bar in Sydney, and there was plenty of beers flowing, and yeah, the big man took out the win. It was actually quite funny. We were out afterwards at this bar in Sydney, I don't even know what it's called, somewhere near the bridge, and everyone was lining up, getting their IDs checked, and we were sort of with a group, and security guard waved Clutzy through. He said, oh, the champ, come straight through. And Clutzy sort of walked past me. He's like, I literally got this trophy for being the fattest man in Australia. And walked into the bar. So it was a great day. It was a really good day and a good weekend. But yeah, we're still licking our wounds a little bit.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's Friday now, so it's almost a week ago, which is scary.
Yeah, I lived in Sydney for a few years. I know exactly sort of what you're talking about.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
You wake up on Sunday feeling like you don't want a beer, and then you head out to Bondi and have one on the hill, and you're like, oh, this could lead to anywhere.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't spend that much time in the Ivy Bar.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the crew who were there on Saturday spent much time there either.
No, it's a bit of a sea in the Ivy Bar.
It's a cracking day and a cracking venue, but yeah, they were pretty swift to kick us out once the
I can imagine. A bit of a different crowd coming in.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, good stuff. Anyway, so yeah, been a big year, as you say.
Yes.
But the reason we're sitting here on a Friday Arvo is to road test the latest collaboration, Doug's Beer.
Doug's Beer.
So before we get into it, let's crack it open, being a Friday.
That's good.
Pretty thirsty work. Another nice balmy Queensland day.
Perfect time of year, I reckon.
So this is one of 2 beers we're releasing in the next couple of weeks.
Yep. So the Strawberries and Cream's making a comeback from last year.
Yep. And
this is the other one.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, thank you. It looks bloody beautiful,
Oh,
sorry.
That was a good cheers.
Yeah, great cheers. Oh.
So your first try?
Yeah, that's unreal. Stoked with that.
So the concept for this one, Doug's Beer to be shared with your best mate. So a bit of a story behind it. I believe this is in honour of your grandpa.
It is. And funnily enough, I'm picking up today, but it's his 85th birthday today. So
happy birthday, Doug.
Yeah, I'm driving straight up the coast after this. So he doesn't even know about it either. So it's going to be a good surprise.
Really? Yeah, that's not a bad present.
So I reckon he'll be stoked with it. Although I did get sent a photo of him at the surf club at 11:45 already on the beers. So I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure
by the time
he's going to be in by the time I get up there.
Through the traffic and up the coast, you might be asleep on the couch.
That's it, yeah, I have to wait. I'm sure he'll be up for at least one more when I get there though.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, like Josh and I who do the podcast with, we're sort of always keen to have a bit of a story around the stuff we're doing, and I think I'm pretty lucky being a 27-year-old, nearly 28 years old, that I still get to have beers with my granddad all the time, and I reckon, it's one of those things, and it's not just with your granddad, it's with your mates and your parents and your friends and, your wider family, but there's something special about sitting down and having a beer with someone. And I think growing up that little bit, you turn 18 and start having drinks and stuff, but now that I'm a bit older and I can sit back with Granddad and watch the cricket or watch the racing and have a beer with him, like, shit, this is pretty special. Not everyone gets to do it, especially up until they're 28. Like my other grandfather, unfortunately, passed away when I was 1 year old, so never got to share a beer with him. So yeah, we just wanted to really sort of want people to crack this beer with someone who they really love and sit back and soak it up and just really enjoy the moment. I think it's easy to forget sometimes how good having a beer with your mates is. So
absolutely. I think you probably take it for granted at times.
Absolutely, 100%.
You get to, crack a beer. That's sort of why we do what we do.
Exactly right.
We work all week making beers just for that occasion.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm sure there's a few along the way during the week.
Oh, occasionally we road trip one, road test one during the week.
Yeah.
We canned this one, I think, last Thursday or Friday, a week or so ago, and it's pretty hot over the weekend. I cracked one in the pool, and I thought, oh, this is beautiful.
That's what it's all about. Soaking it up and enjoying the moment.
I wasn't there with a mate though. I was actually in the pool on my own.
That's all right. That's all right. It's just about enjoying the moment and not taking it for granted. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and I'm pretty excited tonight to be able to have one with him.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
He loves a beer too. So
oh, there you go.
It's funny. He's pretty much well, he always was an out-and-out Heineken drinker, but when Josh and I started getting to these beers, I always take him a few up to road test, and now whenever I go up there, he's got his little bar fridge. He's like, oh, pick this one up this weekend or that one up this weekend. He's always trying the different crafties, so I'm sure he'll love this one. It's tasting absolutely delicious.
It's good to see how much once you give people a couple of beers and they're like, oh, this is a bit different, then they really get into it.
Yeah, 100%. Doesn't take much.
Get into it. I've got an uncle that lives up that way as well, up in Bly.
Yeah.
And every time I go up there, I take a couple of different beers.
Yeah.
And now he absolutely loves it.
It's funny as well, like sometimes my dad probably especially is like the harshest of critics and so stubborn, but then he has one, he's like, oh, this is actually not too bad, and like almost hates to admit it, but it's good to get him to come around. So. No,
my dad loves it as well. When I was a kid, I remember him making home brew out in the shed. Yeah. Pretty dodgy it would have been probably back in those days.
My dad did the exact same thing.
And now I send him down, he lives down in Victoria, I send him down beers and he sends me a photo drinking it. Yeah. Absolutely loves it.
How good's that?
So yeah.
I'll send him some of these ones.
I will, yeah. I've sent him, it was his birthday last week, so I sent him down one of the beer hugs we've been doing.
Oh, beautiful.
So I think it's 12 different beers or something like that.
How good's that?
Yeah, pretty
That's
cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
So mate, apart from being down in Sydney, being a rock star, and what else has been happening in the last year?
Oh mate, it's been crazy. The podcast has grown massively, pretty much. I don't even know when it all sort of kicked off, but I think it was around Magic Round, which is March? I can't even remember, around then. Yeah, it's just grown insanely. And Josh and I have often had conversations like, and I think we said this last year when we brewed the beers, like imagine if we could brew a sour with Revel, and we did it, and there's been heaps of things that at the start of the year, like imagine if we could get to this level and be doing these sort of things, and we're just ticking them all off. So we're just sort of pinching ourselves, but also just trying to keep the foot on the pedal and see where we can take it. Yep. Hopefully want to be doing it full time for both of us one day. But yeah, it's really exciting and getting to do some cool stuff, going to Sydney, brewing beers. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's heaps of fun. So
pretty exciting stuff, really, for a couple of lads.
Exactly.
Just like drinking beers with a few of the boys.
We were actually talking to the owner of Budgie Smuggler while we were down there, and he said, make sure you talk to your accountant because you can claim up to $150 a day tax-free. So we'll definitely be doing some investigation to that.
That's not a bad
beers for research purposes.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Absolutely. It's not a bad little bonus, is it?
Yeah, we're just having a bit of fun with it, seeing how far we can take it, and yeah, it's been phenomenal, really. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think it was back in January when they have the hottest 100 beers, and the strawberry and cream last year, what did it come in the 30s?
39, I think, last
39,
year,
so that's not a bad result.
Yeah, I think I had a look the other day back at our sort of Instagram followers and stuff. I think we had about 4,000 this time last year, and this year we've got 75. So hopefully we can give it a bit of a nudge and get the beer up as high as possible.
Yeah.
We've been saying it'll be crazy if we can get it in top 10, but as I just said before, you know, we've said a lot of stuff's crazy at the start of the year, and we've been kicking those goals. So fingers crossed we can get it that high, but regardless, like it's a heap of fun, and yeah, thank you guys for jumping on board and supporting us as well. It's been awesome.
It's good to be part of the fun. We do lots of collaborations with breweries, bars, so we're always keen to do stuff like this.
Yeah.
A couple of lads having a bit of fun.
That's it, yeah, that's what it's all about, basically.
With our ethos. Yeah. I like having a beer with you, mate. Just before we sat down to do this, we just tried the strawberry and cream fresh out of the tank. So what's your take on the latest version?
tasting very delicious. I'm very, very keen to get my hands on it. Canned on Monday, is it? Or
yeah, Monday, Tuesday we're going to can it.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd give it the weekend to rest.
Yeah.
And then it'll be out, I think, next week, out to the punters
Yeah.
that have
How exciting.
pre-saled it and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, they'll be very eager to get their hands on it, I think. So keen for them to try as well. There'll be a heap. We've obviously grown a lot more, so there'll be a heap of people that'll be trying it for the first time this year.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, keen to hear what everyone thinks, but it's tasting bloody delicious.
I remember last year we sat here when I didn't have any undies on.
Yeah, me too.
And then we went over to Oxford Street for our thing. It was the first catch-up for the Bloody Brand beers.
It was.
And I think the launch of the beer, was it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
All in one, I think.
And then I've never seen a motley crew in my life. It's people
Pretty
that
random, yeah.
rolled in.
Random, yeah.
But it was so cool to see all these guys that have sort of, I guess, found a passion, I guess, or something like-minded that
it's
they
crazy
can
for us
get
as well.
behind.
Like we were in Sydney on the weekend and walking through the streets and people were like, oh shit, can we get a photo with you? It's like, what the fuck? We had a bloke drive 8 hours from Ballina to Sydney just to go to the event on Saturday to have a beer with us.
Wow,
so,
that's crazy.
It's pretty cool, and yeah, it's pretty cool to see. Like, I think we're going to be filming a little something next week, and a few of those Motley Crew guys are going to be there. So they've been along for the ride with us as well. So it's been awesome.
I remember meeting a couple of dudes, and they've got some quite unique nicknames.
Yeah, probably not safe for this podcast.
No, we might save that one for yours.
Yeah,
a few of the boys.
Yeah, and there's been a fair few that have added on since then. That
I can only
some of them
imagine.
call up a podcast, and we can't even play their calls. Even though it's the best call ever, just because of their nickname at the start. So we'll let people's imagination run wild there. But yeah, it's
all a bit of fun. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's it. That's the main thing. Yeah.
So as you said, you only had, what was it, 4,000 last year and 75,000. That's ridiculous, really, to think.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think we set a goal at the start of the year to hit 20K, which seems impossible. So yeah, I don't know what.
Next thing you'll be getting invited to like the Melbourne Cup birdcage and stuff like that. As
fingers
like
crossed.
as a big celebrity.
Hopefully getting paid to be there. That'd be the dream. Yeah, getting paid to travel
with
and
a few
drink beers.
Instagram influencers and that sort of thing.
Yeah. I'd happily take it. Like we obviously went to Sydney. We had to pay for the whole weekend. So hopefully next year we can go back on someone else's dime and really get into our work.
Maybe Budgie Smugglers will sponsor you.
Yeah.
Awesome. So the back to the Doug's beer. What was the sort of brief for the artwork and that sort of thing? It's come up looking pretty good, I reckon.
Yeah, well, there's actually a photo of my granddad and I on the side, but that's pretty much the only brief I had. But I reckon it fits pretty well. My granddad actually lives up at Caloundra on the sunny coast.
Good spot, isn't it?
Yeah. So one of my favourite things to do is either head down the front at Moffat Beach there, or up to the surf club at Dickey and have a beer with him. So it's quite fitting that it's sort of overlooking the water. Another one of those weird coincidental things. But yeah, we're pretty loose on the brief, but as per, you guys have absolutely nailed it. It looks awesome.
The only problem is it's got a sunset, which is in the west, I think. Maybe it's a sunrise, having a breakfast beer.
Maybe we're still going. That'll be Grandad tomorrow morning down at Moffat.
If your 85-year-old granddad is still going when the sun rises,
mate, well,
kudos to him.
How old am I now? So I'll be 27 in January at my 21st, so only 6 years ago, he would have been just about 80. He and I are the last ones to call it at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
so he's got a bit about him. He's and he usually drinks Heineken as well. So I don't know how he does it. I'd be on the floor, but yeah, he's an absolute weapon, and I'm sure he's going to really enjoy this one as well.
Absolutely.
It's a cracker, and we'll probably. Oh no, it's been announced. I was going to say the other can design's even better.
It is. I think it features you boys.
It does. It was pretty funny when Maddie first sent it through. Oh yeah, nailed it. Absolutely perfect.
Looking very visceral. Visceral?
It looks visceral. I've got way bigger biceps on the can than I'm actually doing in real life. So I owe someone a few cartons there. They've done me a few favours.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Up against the most ordinary rig in Australia.
He's not looking very ordinary in that cartoon though.
No.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know if Budgie Smuggler will be happy with that.
Maybe you'll have to do a collab with them and get them to make some budgies.
Yeah, that'd be good. We could do some strawberries and cream budgies or something with a little strawberry on the front.
Oh, perfect.
Probably don't want a white though, do we? It's a bit dangerous, especially the antics we get up to.
Oh, absolutely. I was just saying to you earlier, mate, I was struggling to find my hat that you gave me last year, the baggy green.
The baggy green.
I had Emma, my wife, on the job overnight. raiding through the cupboard. So when the next batch comes through, might have to.
Well, I've actually got a few boxes sitting in my garage, hiding from my missus because she hates when I leave boxes lying around the house. So they got delivered last week. So I don't know when we're going to drop them, but probably in line with the first cricket test, which I think is in about a month's time. So yeah, we'll definitely swing some this way. But yeah, hot commodities last year they went pretty quick.
I think we ended up scoring the last one or two or something.
Yeah. They sold out online in 4 minutes basically. So
oh wow.
We're hoping for a repeat this year, but we'll see how we go.
I think you'll do all right with 75,000 people.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
So, having that many people, do you have to communicate with them? Like, what's the go? Is it like a bit of an online forum behind scenes?
Yeah, so we've been a bit slack over the weekend, mainly because we were cross-eyed for 6 days straight.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure people can empathise with that.
Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to get on top of it this morning on the way into work on the train. We've got like 100 messages on Instagram that are unread. But the worst thing is, like, it's not, when you respond to someone, it's not the end of the conversation.
No.
So like, I'll punch out 20 on the train on the way in, then when I finish work, I've got those 20 have responded again. So definitely struggling with it at the moment, but we've got like a Facebook group for the podcast, obviously the Instagram and stuff, and people can call up and leave us a message, and we play a fair few of them out. So there's plenty of different ways that we can communicate with the listeners and stuff, but it's definitely getting out of control at the moment, which is a good thing. But
you might have to hire someone, mate, a PA or something to
we'll have to start paying ourselves first before we hire anyone else, unless someone wants to come and do it for nothing, but I highly doubt that. But yeah, that'll be the goal one day, make someone else do all that stuff.
That's my worst nightmare, having to reply to messages.
I
think I've got 120 like unanswered phone calls.
My phone's
and
the same as well. Like, it's probably just more of a picture of how useless I am than the actual volume coming in. But yeah, hopefully one day, if we get to the stage where we're both doing it full time, Clutzy and I can just sit in front of the camera and drink beers, and everyone else can do all the hard work in the background.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's the end goal.
That's the plan, is it? As release these 2 beers and then just see how they go.
Yeah, take off and hopefully be millionaires and retire at the age of 32 or something. That's the rough plan, but we'll see.
Hey, you never know. You might be like the next Hamish and Andy or something.
Well, the thing is, when we started, our whole plan was just to do purely like brewery content, come in and chat to brewers and stuff, and people come up to us all the time and was like, why is your podcast called Bloody Brilliant Beers? All you do is sit at the pub and just dribble. It's a good point. So we definitely didn't plan on ending up where we are at the moment, so it's tricky to say where we'll be, in 6-12 months, but anything can happen. So like, perfect example, Ivy Bar, Clutzy winning Australia's Most Ordinary Rig on Saturday. That definitely wasn't on the cards. So.
No, and I think he got a gig on Sunrise out of it.
He did, and the Today Show, both on the same day. So it was, which was awesome after a massive Sunday sesh to have to get up at 6, and I didn't have to go on TV.
Was that a Monday morning?
Yeah.
Was Carl Stefanovic?
Carl was sounding how I'm sounding right now. Like, he was sounding like he had an absolute weekend.
Well, I think he's pretty well renowned, old Carl, for enjoying himself a little.
I think there's a clip on their Facebook page which you should go and watch if you haven't seen it, because Clutzy actually pretty much breaks Carl. He can't speak and has to put his head in the pieces of paper he was holding. So it was a pretty funny interview, and there was some funny reactions.
Have to watch that for sure.
Yeah, a lot of the producers and stuff I think don't know what's planned for the day, and like just the doors open into the studio and it's just laughter everywhere as Clutzy struts in with his trophy and his budgies on. So yeah, it was a weird experience, but a good one, that's for sure.
There's been a few good Carl Stefanovic interviews over the years. Like I think it was a couple of years in a row where you rocked him pretty dusty after the Logies.
Yeah.
And now whenever he interviews someone that's had a night like that, I think he did the Brownlow interview lately. Oh, what's the player from Carlton that won the Brownlow? Hadn't been to bed.
Oh, I can't remember.
Cripps, and then the Bathurst guys.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. Like, I thought he was just a bit sick, but Clutzy reckoned he had a few the night before.
Yeah,
so,
no doubt.
He really loved it. Clutzy was excited to see Koshy as well on Sunrise, but he wasn't there, so that was a bit unfortunate. But yeah, definitely got our money's worth out of Carl. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to give that one a watch.
Yeah, definitely. It was pretty funny. Pretty funny.
Awesome. Oh well, mate. I think that's probably about it for now.
Beautiful.
Reconvene and catch up, hopefully get Clutzy on the show and do the strawberries in a couple of weeks.
Yep, very
when
exciting.
that one goes live.
If we have to sit down and have another beer, I suppose. Like,
it's tough work.
Yeah, you sound like you're where I want to be, sitting down on camera having a beer, but I suppose you got to brew it first, so you're still doing all the hard work. Yeah.
Well, there's a couple more brewers now, so I don't do as much brewing myself anymore.
There you go. Just the talent.
I get to go on the podcast and do the fun stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's all part of the fun. We love it.
Thanks very much for having us, mate, and thanks for another cracking beer. It's absolutely delicious.
I think it's tasting all right, mate. So I really hope that Doug loves it.
I'll
say happy birthday to us.
I'll send you a photo of his first and then his last before he goes to bed tonight.
At 4 a.m. when the sun's about to come up.
Yeah. I'm sure he's going to love it, so I'm pretty excited to get up there and give it to him.
Absolutely. All right, mate. Cheers.
Thank you.
Happy
Better
Friday.
cheers that time. Happy Friday.